Excuse me, guys. Hello, let's go today. Man, I am getting a bad cough this morning. But hey, I hope that everyone's having a great day so far. Let's go. Tesla missed their delivery numbers. I'm sure everybody saw that by now, unless you're living under a rock. But let's go. Tesla is starting to get some pretty crazy price action coming in. I was hoping that this would send SPY down, but as we can see on the top right chart of the screen, the SPY is moving up. These are all 1 minute charts if you are a little bit confused here, but we have Nvidia in the top left, SPY in the top right, Tesla in the bottom left, and QQQ in the bottom right. So Tesla is actually recovering up all the way back to 246 now, getting close to the point where those numbers actually came out. I mean, we were just under 250 when those numbers actually released, and it's getting right back down to there. It seems like it might actually be okay for Tessie today. I'm not saying that it's going to be fantastic, but it looks like, you know, better than what I thought anyways, right? Better than what I thought. So I'm trying to keep that as a positive note, at least today, right? Because so far it's been pretty brutal, we'll just say that. We'll just say that. If we actually go out on like a 5 minute chart and we zoom out a little bit, it starts to look a little bit worse. But you go over to SPY, it's not doing the best either, but it's okay. SPY has a good double bottom going on right around 426, or right around, I guess you could say, 425.90. I'm actually going to make an alert right there, SPY breakdown. That's going to be the name of that alert. Let's go, SPY. I hope that we get a nice breakdown under there today. I'm not sure it'll come, but if it does, we will be alerted. That's for sure. What's up, guys? Easy Rider said, anyone going with Tesla puts at open? You know, I'm not. I'm actually not. It's weird. Tessie's kind of ripping right back up here. I do think that puts will be good to enter at some point. The question is just when. Honestly, now might be a pretty good time now that it got up into this resistance. Right around 246.50. It's actually not bad. It's rejecting off of there. Could be a good put entry here. Just keep in mind, if you enter here, you might need to get into another one at some point if we continue up and we bounce off 250 or something. But this might be a solid entry point. Possibly. Possible put entry right here. Guess I'll just draw it out, whatever. We'll do the arrow. We'll leave that there for a minute and see what happens with it. That is something, though, where we're kind of ripping up at open, so you're kind of going against the overall momentum right now. If you were to try to trade that, I'd say, but let's go look at those numbers exactly, though. I'm sure you guys are wondering what they are. I know a lot of you guys already saw them, but they reported 43. They reported 435,000 essentially deliveries. 435,059. Okay, 059 was the end. So I'm just going to say, to make it easy, 435K. Okay. They were expecting 461,000K. So, or 461,000, 461K. So they missed by about, what is that, like 26K, I think, deliveries. They missed by about 26,000. Not the best. Definitely not the best. That's all I gotta say. Terrible, though.
You have two choices.
It sucks. How do you miss on deliveries whenever they've been doing all these price, you know, cuts and all that type of stuff? Price cuts. It's been really annoying. They bring their margins down significantly, and then they can't even keep up with that. I would have thought with those price cuts, they would have gotten some more sales, or, you know, more people buying them, or etc. I guess it just didn't beat expectations, though, so really all it is. That's the thing, right? Like, maybe analysts were expecting a bit of an uptick, like a bigger uptick or something. Definitely sucks for Tesla, though. They had less than the previous quarter, so that sucks.
You're about to become a crime statistic.
Less than last quarter. That's pretty bad to see. That's why they're going down. But hey, they're coming back today. SPY's coming back. Let's go see Tessie. Okay. Still rejecting off of that 246.50. SPY was coming back in a pretty decent way, though. Can't lie on that one. Wow. Just want you guys to know a premium play just now dropped. If you guys are in the premium Discord, go check it out. Bot-plays. Let's go see what we got. Of course, I can't show it here, but I'll alert you guys to it. Let you know it's here. Posted about a minute ago. You still have good timing on it for right now. Boeing, Peloton, Bank of America. All right. Look what I just found in the Discord, guys. There are rumors that Elon Musk made a surprise visit to Zuck's house. That's why Zuck's got the black eye and all that going on. Uh-oh. He's in trouble.
All right.
Matthew, what are you doing here? Bank of America was my free day trade today. I was looking for them down under 27 even. I guess that's a pretty big move for them, but I'm still waiting for it as the day goes here. I'm gonna put an alert. BAC Falling is my alert name. How original, right? Nice job, Palantir. Let's see Tessie on the book map. I'm curious. Tessie on the book map. Let's go. Nice, sitting right around 240. It's a pretty big support for them. $240 even. Definitely a huge level coming up on Tessie. You can see the buyers at 242 stacking up as well. And 240, 250. 250 resistance overhead is going to be pretty crazy. 240, 750, and 248 also have some sellers there, but just not as much as 250. 250 really overshadows the rest. Like, all of this added up doesn't even add up to 250's volume on the order book, so. What's up, though, guys? Appreciate you. Good morning, Mike, Xbox, Saul, Krishna, Rick, Corbin, Easy Rider. Let's go. Appreciate the question earlier, Easy. Anybody has any stocks they want me to check out, just let me know. If you see anything crazy today, throw it out there. Let's see the watch list. Coinbase. Wow. I did hear Bitcoin was kind of moving over the weekend. Let's see it on the chart. 28,000. Look at that on Sunday. Wow. Around like right whenever the US futures market opened, it started ripping. Popped up like $1,000 right there. Not bad for Bitcoin. Not bad at all. I know a lot of people were looking at Mara and Riot. I saw it all over the Discord this morning. At least last night heading into today, I saw it. Gonna get a lot of movement with that, probably. Let's go see Mara and Riot. Holy. Mara is up 12% right now. Holy crap. What about Riot? Nice. Riot's up too. $10.60. Peloton is second on my watch list here, 3.5%. Looking around at these growth stocks today, Nvidia's even on the top of the watch list. Man, Nvidia's been hot lately. Let's look at that 5-minute chart of them. They have been following this trend line to the upside just non-stop lately. I thought it would slow down or stop or something, but no. No. That's all they had to say to me. But we'll say like this. Pretty good move back. Looks like we do have some data coming out here soon. Global manufacturing PMI coming out in about 3 minutes, and then in about 18 minutes, we're going to have that ISM manufacturing PMI. It's going to be pretty good. I don't think that we're going to see anything overly crazy as far as movement from this, but hey, you know, people are going to look at it, so might as well look at it when it comes out. It'll probably move the market a little bit, but it probably won't dictate the overall move today or anything crazy. Save your chips for Powell. Yeah, Powell's at 11 a.m. I'm glad you saw that. 11 a.m. for Powell here. That's going to be a fun one. 11 a.m. Eastern. That's 10 a.m. Central Time in about an hour and 15 minutes or so. And keep in mind, it's not a real speech again. It's another roundtable discussion. It's not like you should be expecting anything really, really crazy from this. Do not expect anything too crazy, okay? People love to overhype Big Daddy Powell a little bit. This event is not going to be like an FOMC event or anything. It's like a roundtable discussion. So keep that in mind. Let me see if I can get the Bloomberg calendar. Here it is. This is the one I was looking at yesterday. I don't know why it doesn't work. Very weird. But if you open up incognito, it works. I don't know why that is, but whatever. Clear all, please. I only want the United States on here. Oh yeah. There we go. Let's see what it says for Powell. I'm pretty sure it said something better. Fed Chair Powell speaks. Click here for full event details. Here we go. He's set to speak. He has influence, yada, yada, yada. Why are they not telling me what it is? I could have sworn this is how I saw what it was last time. I'm pretty sure it's just a roundtable discussion with somebody. Like there's some type of, I think, CEOs here or something. If you guys find it, let me know. I can't be scouring forever. Come on, SPY. Bouncing off 427.50 now. Nam said, Tesla missed delivery numbers, but they're green. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, that's just something that happens, right? Like, a lot of people always think that, like, the news is gonna 100% dictate the price action or etc. Like, at the end of the day, Tesla's delivery numbers were pretty close. they expected 461,000 deliveries and they came in at 435,000, so they missed by a little bit. But at the end of the day, this happens a lot, right? Like the market will take a big dip and then come right back up. It's just kind of like the dynamics of it. It happens often on stocks, even on SPY. Like you'll see stuff with Powell, right? Like he'll speak and the SPY will do this same type of thing. Like it'll take a big dip and then recover. Sometimes that's just how it goes with the volatility. I'm hoping it continues down, honestly. I hope it stays down. As it was going up, there was a couple resistances to watch, like 246.50 and then 250 will be another pretty big level here next, past 249. Watch those levels for potential hits and then moves down. Kind of like a nice resistance touch or a big resistance hit and then a push back lower. Citigroup falling off. Nice. Bank of America. I'm still waiting for this one to fall under 27 today. You might be able to target down into 27 if you really wanted to push it, but I don't think I would. Where's our data that just hit? All right, came in at 49.8, higher than the consensus and higher than the previous here. These jump around so much. It's, Very interesting with these companies. The PMI. Can't wait for the rest of it to come out in about 15 minutes. That'll be nice. Since these ones beat, it'll probably beat again a little bit. There's the bank though, 27.10 now, getting close. Getting close down there. SPY's starting to turn back over off of 427.50. Cool to see that. Visa's coming down. Boeing, not doing too much. Tesla is still rejecting back lower. I think Tesla will start to go lower now, possibly. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. A recovery and then a slow grind back down. That would be pretty nice. Nice. Easy made a quick 300 on SPX puts. Beautiful. SPY pulled off Friday's close. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it did. Yes, it did. That was a good resistance level right there. 427. I have it right around 427.65, but anywhere between 427.50 and 427.80 is really what we're seeing. There's like a 30-cent margin there. It's usually about how it is. Come on, Boeing, let's go. 190 even down here. It's a big area to watch this week. Look at that hourly right here. Boeing's getting so low, like when you go on a daily chart, it freaks people out to see how many red candles in a row this thing's had. Is it going to continue the streak, though, is the question. It looks like it will today. It looks like it will. Oh, yeah, especially now that I see this. It makes it look real bad. It's not too far off. It could easily close green though, but give me 1 second, guys. All right, Boeing falling off. Sorry, guys. Had to help someone in Discord real quick. CCJ, 2.75% down. Wow. Yeah, really pulling back with CCJ now. I mean, this was bound to happen eventually, right? Like, CCJ is gonna have a big tumble. The question is when. You know, when is that tumble going to occur? But it's been doing fantastic since Mike's support. I actually threw this on here during a nightly video. He called this out like at this $21 area, and I threw it on. Man, that thing has been on fire since Mike called it out. And we called it out for shares or calls or leaps right there, and bam, that thing exploded up to 42. I know a lot of people have been grabbing shares from Discord and other entities to try to see this here. It's been good to see. But it's starting to tumble over now, and that's going to happen, right? Like, CCJ is not going to go up forever. Even though the market might contract or do etc., CCJ is going to be hard to keep going. All right, Spy, what are you doing? We're on the trend line. Gonna have some fun with the trend line for us. Come on, break below 426. If we break 426, that could be a fun-looking play. I'm not sure we're going to, though. Kind of, I don't know. Looks like it wants to hold up. I sure hope not. I sure hope not. I need to get a good exit out of SQQQ here. We need a good breakdown here with that Spy. We need it. Come on, Powell. Talk about some recessions or something coming on. Powell, hit us up with the recession. Please. Please. Oh my gosh, how many of these are open? It's almost like Boeing had their 737 MAX grounded again. Yeah, it kind of is after looking at that daily. I think that there actually was an issue with it again. I think it wasn't grounded, but I think that there was an issue with it, which is funny. CCJ, Tesla missed delivery numbers, but green. Yeah. Yes, they did. I'm still happy that they missed in a way. I know that's not going to make a lot of people happy. Like, I love Tesla. It's just at the same time, I'm not a huge EV guy yet. So I'm not really into it yet. You know, I'm more of like a gas. Let's get a really loud sounding car that goes boom, you know. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to smell the gasoline. I want my car to shake, you know? I want to hear the supercharger when I hit the gas. I mean, it's one of the best sounds ever. I mean, can you beat it? Can't hear anything on this. I can't hear it. Hurry up. This was the stupidest video. They could have made this video 5 seconds long. I don't know. You know, those... What do you guys think? I mean, I really like the sounds and smells of the cars. You know, I understand that electric's the future, but... I don't know. If I don't have to... Well, then I don't have to, I guess. I guess that's what it comes down to, right? Thank God we're in the USA where I don't have to do anything, generally. Thank God. I would take a 918 Spider, yeah. Carlos said, why are you not into EVs? Well, really, because I like my gasoline engine cars. I think they're cooler. They sound cool. They look, you know, the sports cars look cooler. It's pretty insane. With gas prices like these. Yeah, I mean, in reality, Carlo, it's not even that bad, though. I mean, well, it ain't bad for me because I work at home, but... but, I guess if you were driving like an hour every day or something, it's probably pretty bad, right? But... I don't know. I'll just say this. I just love them. You know, it doesn't mean that you got to drive them all the time, right? Like, I would be okay with having, like, an EV, like, to go to my job. And then maybe, like, a gas car for fun, right? On the weekend or something. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Nam said, what do you do for a living? Well, I do all of this, Nam, honestly. In the Discord here, YouTube. All day. I want to like an EV or SMCI hybrid. Porsche 918 Spider hybrid. I've never even seen that. Porsche 918 Spider hybrid. I'm sure I've seen it before. Here it is. Oh, are they remaking the really cool Spider from back in the day? Or is this the old one? Wow. This is the expensive one I was thinking of. No, I was thinking of, I think, the Carrera GT, maybe. This one. What's the really cool Porsche that everyone talks about? Like the badass one. I think it's the 918 Spider, the one you said. Pretty sure. Once I see those horsepower numbers, I'll know. Oh, okay, I think this is it. I think this one is the one. Yeah. Got that. Oh, yeah. That is the most badass one there. I like an EV for the commuter aspect, but the simplicity of adding a few gallons of liquid and going off grid, no comparison. Gasoline vehicles aren't that big of a problem. A lot of the problems they speak on pollution-wise, literally a volcano is worse. I know, Xbox, you know, I've looked into a lot of that stuff. It's insane how much pollution, like, a volcano puts off. Like, it's honestly insane. Like, people don't even realize it. Like, a month of a volcano putting off bad air is, like, more than every car in the world combined. It's like... That's interesting though, Xbox, with the plants and stuff. Nice. Perry likes American old school muscle like Chevelles. I do too. Let's see the McLaren P1. Nice. That's a cool one. That's a cool one. I really like a car called the Celine S7 Twin Turbo. That's my favorite. This is probably my favorite car ever, if I had to pick one. One of them anyways. Celine S7. I do like the old American muscle myself. Man, I wish I kept a picture of this. It's too bad I don't have a pic. Perry, I was driving around this weekend and I saw an amazing older car. Let me see if I can even figure out what it is. It might have actually, you know, now that I'm looking at it, it might have just been like a Mustang Fastback or something. It looked beautiful though. I keep seeing these Shelby Daytona for sales around me. Let's see, Shelby Daytona. Yeah, like this. See this car? Like, man, I keep seeing this thing for sale around me. Like, there's one for sale for like $100,000. And I don't know, I love this old Shelby Daytona. I love the Shelbys. They're fantastic. Any Shelby car I would buy. Even like a kit car. Like Shelby kit car. Something like this. Oh, man. I love that car. The Shelby. But I actually do like the Chevelles and all that stuff too. They're fun. I really like it when people make them into the cool dragsters too. It's pretty sick. Man, Boeing got really close to 190 here. Now they're kind of bouncing back up. Come on, Boeing. That's not cool. Spy's coming back up for us. Starting to break 428. I do like those Corvettes, Mike. I actually was looking into those instead of my Hellcat quite a bit. But, you know, if I'm being honest, the Hellcat is a little bit cheaper. The Hellcat was only 60K, so those Corvettes are pushing around 90 to 100 usually, so. What do I think about AMD? Let's see. AMD says to give me a sub. No, I'm just kidding. That's from the video last night. I left it on there. You know, AMD actually does not look bad. I would say it actually almost looks bullish here. It's just there's a big range it's been stuck in between 104 and 102.50. It's been stuck in here for a couple days. I think it'll start to break it at 105 when it truly does break. It's looking fairly bullish right now to me. But it's mixed though, right? Like it's not the best play ever because we're running up into these resistances now. And I think we could hit there and reverse lower it at just about any time. So try to be a little bit careful if you could. Bombay put something in the memes. That's funny. Heading out to build back better. Oh no. LMBO. Let's see. Lambo, I guess that's what you meant. Or limbo. Palantir trying to pop up a little here. Come on, Boeing, just break lower for us. Bank of America, I'm waiting for them to break lower too. A sub sandwich. I would take one of those right now. You know, an M1 Abrams is not a bad idea, Xbox. Not a bad idea. $190 even on Boeing. Come on, Boeing. Get under there for us. That'll make for a fun day trade if it really does break under. Could end up being pretty good, I think. Let's see how those energy stocks are doing, like CCJ again. Are they still coming down? Wow. CCJ is extremely red today. I mean, this is uncanny for CCJ. Oh shit, we had that economic data. I forgot about it. It dropped a couple minutes ago. It must not have done anything. I didn't really think it would move us too much, but let's see. Okay, it did move. The SPY had a nice green candle off of that. It actually is running right off of the trend line right there, too. All right, I got to do a poll with you guys really quick, okay? And I'm just curious. So don't, like, let's just say this, like, if you guys have Bookmap or anything like that, don't feel like I'm saying to not post it as much. But I have to make a poll, and I'm going to ask you guys how you feel about the Discord with Bookmap being kind of sprayed out all over. I'm kind of curious if you guys think that there's too many charts being spammed constantly, or if you like that, okay? So I'm curious on the poll what you guys think here. And here's kind of what I'm going at. Like, we go to Discord. You almost can't scroll up like 2 scrolls without seeing 4 book maps, or something like that. And it'll get more throughout the day too. I'm just curious if you guys like it with that. If you like that a lot, or if you're more of like wanting that to slow down so you can focus more on conversation rather than having tons of those coming in. I'm just curious what you guys think on that. All right, here we go. I'm putting the answers in now. All right, here we go. Let me know what you think in the poll. I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm surprised nobody's typed anything about it, really. I'm just curious what you think. Let me know if you like seeing it all there all the time, or let me know if you think it looks cluttered. I'm curious. Or if you think it gets spammy or something. In discussion chat, yes. The main chat in Discord, yes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't vote. I guess. I'm curious what everyone thinks, because, we do get a lot of questions and stuff where people are saying that, hey, there's just too much going on in there. I can't really tell what's happening. So I'm curious. Because, see, some people would rather have conversations rather than just, like, a bunch of spam charts. But I'm just trying to throw arguments out for both sides, really. I know, right, Nom Nom? It'll be like 10 and then 10 within 10 seconds sometimes. But hey, it's cool. Yeah, I feel you there, Fiva. And you're talking about in the Discord, right, Fiva? Like, not here, right? Oh, no problem, Corbin. If you can't type it, just place the vote. But I'm definitely open to hearing it once you get ready for it. Take your time. We'll be here for a minute. We're going to wait for Big Daddy Powell today. We're going to be live for Powell. We're going to see what he has to say for us. As long as I can find it, we'll have him. Llama said, why wouldn't I want to see as many charts as possible? Well, Llama, a lot of people, you know, like, here, I'll just say this. We get emails and shit from people, and some people don't like it. Like, they'll email us and say, it's way too cluttered. I can't see what people are saying. Some people don't like having to scroll back 50 messages of charts to see what somebody said or replied to. You know, stuff like that. Now, I get it. If you're not really talking in the chat and you're just looking, it's probably not too bad. But I feel like if you're trying to have, like, meaningful conversation, it gets a little bit hard sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know. Llama said maybe make SM chat for charts then. Well, we'll just, you know, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, it's cool to, you know, it's cool to let it go. I'm just wondering what you guys think. You know, that's all. We're not going to change everything totally up. I'm just curious because, you know, we get emails about things and sometimes it wakes us up and we're like, oh shit, we could make the place so much better by doing this or by this or, you know. But it looks like you guys like it generally, so it sounds like it will get to stay, which is nice. Yeah, keep it up, Perry says. Okay. For sure, for sure. Boeing falling off. Watch that 190 possible break coming in. Keep in mind, though, there's only 10 votes in the poll. Try to cast those votes, guys, because, you know, let's say I show Mike or somebody a 10 vote poll. He's going to go, that's only 10 people. I don't care about that, you know, or try to get those votes in. We got 34 people here. Let's get at least like 30 votes in the poll, right? Tesla hit resistance. Let's see. Yeah, it did. Right up into 250. Eyed up. It's right there again right now. Looks like it's going to break, honestly. Thing's on fire right now. Yeah, Zom really did take a hit today, didn't it? Zom is turning over really hard. Let me know if you guys see any crazy stocks out there running around. Man, everything's to the downside today. Plug Power. They're getting killed. Poor Plug. Sheesh, down to 7.28. That's brutal. That actually looks pretty bad on Plug. This company has been getting destroyed by Tesla. Same thing with Blink Charging. Both destroyed. Some people might ask, well, how is Tesla destroying Plug Power? That's not possible. Well, Plug Power does EV charging, and Tesla keeps letting other people use their chargers. In a way, Tesla's actually monopolizing the charger game. Or they're monopolizing the EV space, we could say, right? With the chargers and the cars and everything like that. They are going to try to... It's not monopolizing it, but you know what I'm getting at. Harry is bearish today. You know, I was bearish today too, and now I'm kind of neutral. I really want to see SPY get under 426. This 426 support would be perfect to break under if we could get under there. Here we go. We'll just end the poll there. It looks like it won pretty easily, so. We got a couple emails, so I figured I'd ask, though. That's the only reason I'm asking, just so we know. SPY's looking good. Nice move back up. Now it has another green candle. It's been so choppy today. Up, down, up, down, up. BTC USD is falling back off too. It had a nice like 400-point drop since open. Tesla's back in the green now. Almost. They were green a minute ago. Hell yeah, Corbin. They are staying. They are staying, baby. I always love it whenever people call this like the chart map book, you know, or whatever. They'll always say book map. I love it when Simp does that too. He'll come in and be like, Tom, show me Tesla on the map book. Always gets me laughing. $251 resistance. Look at 250 now. Tesla's back under there, and those sellers just came back right here and stacked up. Now they took it away. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. There was a big hit right there, a big order, and they took it off quick. I wonder if they're trying to scare people. We can see it didn't hit though because there was no big volume dots right there, but Yeah, not too crazy. I wonder if that price action, if it starts to hit 250 again and then we see another big block like this come in, someone's trying to sell it down then if we see that happen again. That's probably what that is there, someone trying to force it down. Harry said, help me understand the book map for sure. So what we're looking at right now is actually the heat map, essentially, on book map. And these areas of, I guess we would call it the colorful areas, right? These big red lines, yellow lines, blue lines. And then you see now there's a COB on the right side, the current order book. That current order book is going to be where you see how many shares are stacked up at that specific spot. So like right now, see how at 248 like 71 or 248.70 there was that big stack of red right there? That's actually a big sell order that just hit the market right there for thousands of shares. And you can kind of look at those and say, well, people are trying to sell this down because now that's the second one that came in right here. Something's going on where, like, whenever Tesla starts to move up, they're getting a big sell order in there. It's pretty cool to see that. And you can see the exact shares on the right. So, like, at 251, there's 17,000, now 18,000 shares there overhead. And that's just showing you where these buyers and sellers are stacked up. You can use that for advantages while you're trading. As in, that's probably a big area of resistance at 251, right? You can also use it like how people are trying to sell the market down a little bit. So, like I said, you can see those big orders that come in really quick, like right there, that red line. There's quicker orders, and then there's generally ones where they have them stacked there for a long time. You can like differentiate between them, but it's really helpful for seeing like where the stock's going, where those big hits are gonna be at. And sometimes, you know, they won't hold up. Like sometimes it'll blast right through that, but you'll be able to see that on the volume dots. These volume dots will kind of show you the hits. So like if I zoom in right here, these dots are showing you what, like where that volume hits. So there was a ton of shares stacked up at 248. You can see as the volume got close right here, there was like 8,000 shares of volume traded as it touched that. And that's what those dots are showing, is how much volume was traded on that specific area at that time. And you'll see where those big spots of contention are, like right here at 250 earlier today. You can see 250 was huge because that had a volume dot of 44,000. There was a 44,000 volume dot hit right there. So that was 44,000 shares going through the system right there. And you can see Tesla started rejecting a little bit there until finally it broke. But it did hold up as a big area, and we rejected there. And then even earlier this morning, just after open, we rejected off 250 again right here. And you can see that volume dot got real close and then rejected. It wasn't able to break that big area, which was 34,000 shares at the time. So it was quite a bit. Now at 250, they're stacking up again a little bit. It's not as big of a stack, though. You can see the main stack is at 251. But 250 does have a minor one coming up, so watch for that. It's really a good tool for scalpers if you're out there. It's really good for scalping. Now, if you're like a longer term trader, this isn't really going to help you too much, you know, but it is really, really useful for scalping and day trading and different aspects like that. Really good for it. And if you ever see stocks and you think like, hey, I don't really know if this is support or not, or I don't know if there's really any buyers here or anything, then you can eye that up and maybe go to the book map as a good confirmation. Like if we're looking at, let's just say Apple, right? Like Apple's running up. I have resistance here at like 174 to 174.50. Let's go see on the book map where it is now. Yeah, see how 174? There's just been tons of hits there this morning. So 174 is going to be huge. There's a lot of sell orders here. We actually just had a big hit on it. A 19,000 share hit at 174 even. So, yeah, 174 was definitely a big spot. Look at how big that dot is. That was the biggest hit of the day. 20,000 volume at that. It's pretty... Or 19,000 shares on that one. That's pretty big. It got close back here, too, earlier today, but... It's having a lot of problems getting through that 174 spot. Although, it did just wipe out the majority of that order, so... Maybe we could break up and through that now, but... We'll have to keep a close eye on Apple. Looks like right now rejecting, but... Once you go to the real chart, it looks like it's a lot closer, though, than... Bookmap does move very, very fast. We got to keep that in mind. No, Perry, Bookmap is not delayed. It's actually, like, realer time than even, like, Thinkorswim is, or anything like that. Like, look at how fast-paced this is, Perry. I mean, this is the actual market right now moving. These are all of the orders going through... Everything like that we're watching right now, these are all orders going in at real time on Apple. Like, to the second. To the 10th of a second, even. This goes to, like, actually the thousandths of a second, this thing goes. So, like, look, this is literally Apple trading right now. You get to see it all. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's like it's like watching a tick chart on futures, if you guys have ever watched those. It's like seeing a tick chart. All right, Tessie, what are you going to do at 250? But yeah, Apple's at a pretty big level here. See how they can do. They're holding the market up pretty well right now, I'll say that. Microsoft's looking pretty bullish. Damn, SPY. Turn over for us. QQQ actually is doing pretty good. We need a big rejection here is what we need. For SQQQ. Powell needs to help us out a little bit. We have Big Daddy speaking in about 30 minutes. So 30 minutes, he will be going. Go back to that SPY. Come on, SPY. It's falling over now. QQQ and SPY are pretty different today. I wonder if Powell's going to scare people or if he's going to make some bullishness come in. Boeing is under 190, guys. Keep an eye on this one. Boeing just continues to slide. Yeah, that's pretty rough with Boeing. Pretty darn rough. 9% on AMD today. Nice. AMD just broke 102.50. I like that support break in there. Nice, AMD. BNOX is the move. BNOX? Bionomics Limited. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. It might actually be the move, though. Whenever these types of stocks go, sometimes they really go. How's BNGO? They still suck. I remember I bought this stock when it was at like... Man, what level was it at now? It's fallen so much, I can't even remember. Oh, it had a split, a reverse split. Okay, that's what happened. Okay. I was gonna say, something's wrong with this chart compared to when I bought it. I see now. Never mind. I can't even figure out when I got it now. I think it was like... If I had to guess... I think I was getting it somewhere in this area. And I sold it like right here. Or somewhere here. It was not a good trade, we'll say that. Whatever I had with BNGO. I'm glad I let it go. That's all I gotta say. Kathy, well, it wasn't really Kathy Wood's doing, but I was kind of into those genomic stocks for, you know, a little while. Was looking at them pretty hard, but once I started seeing the breakdowns and I saw the company started kind of going, I figured it would sell off pretty hard, so got out pretty quick. Those were some shares, though. Enox, though, very interesting. Starting to run up today. Keep an eye on them in case they get that momentum coming back in. Good eye, Xbox. Palantir chopping around down here. Remember, we will have Big Daddy here live in about 27 minutes now, so we'll try our best to find him if I can find him live. Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, we already got it on YouTube, baby. 26 minutes on CNBC television. USI, let's see. Umbrella Solar Investment. This might not be the right one. Let's see. USI. USO. Okay, USO. Now it makes sense. Ooh, USO. I remember this stock had a lot of problems. I don't mind USO, but I'll say this with USO is that you have to really do your research and understand like what USO trades. I believe USO trades a lot of futures. I think it's mainly done with oil futures. So just keep in mind, USO is great in some ways, and other ways it's not. I would say this: USO is probably good if you're getting in it. If you're getting in when oil's on a good uptrend, USO will be great. Okay, it's all dependent though on crude oil prices. That's really all it depends on. So, like, what are we gonna see with crude right here? You know, are we looking for a rejection on the daily? Because like we did kind of just run up into resistance. So is it going to pull back for a couple months before going higher? That's going to be the main question. Like if it pulls back for a couple months, then goes flying, USO is going to get hit hard. So keep that in mind. Oil is up quite a bit right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it fell a little bit and then rocketed higher, but... I know USO also got a lot of flack back whenever oil went to near zero. I remember USO, it looks like it had a reverse split of its own. This thing was hit so hard during that time. If you remember that post-COVID, whenever oil dropped in price, it was pretty insane. Pretty insane. I couldn't believe it. The oil futures actually went negative, and something with that really hurt USO. And a lot of people got pissed at USO whenever that happened because they were trading USO thinking that it was going to follow oil, but it was following the futures. So it got, oil went real low, but it got insane for USO investors at the time. I felt kind of bad even how bad it dropped. I saw a lot of losses out there. People who were just holding USO for a long time. They took some big L's, but will that really happen again with a big drop like that? I mean, probably not, but maybe a little bit. Nice. Perry made a mint on USO puts. That's really good. It's an okay one though, as long as you're playing oil. And I would say, just don't hold it too long either. Like, I would not be buying USO to hold for the long term, at least at this price, but just got to be careful with USO. It's a freaky one out there. Boeing on the daily. I just can't believe this one. Affirm puts look good, Nam said. Yeah, on the daily, they look pretty good even too. Coming down a little bit. 5-minute chart. I feel like it might not fall too much more today though, but I don't know, the average percent fall is 4%. So man, it sounds like it actually has some room to go. Bringing the book map back up. Tessie's still right back up to 250, guys. Let's watch it hit on the book map live, because it's probably going to hit with how close it is. And hey, remember guys, if you want access to the book map, check out the link I'm sending in the chat right now. It'll give you access to the same exact platform. It's badass. Check it out. You'll even get a nice discount using our link. So it'll help you out there for the first month or so. Do pretty good. You can try it out. If you're somebody out there who's always asking like, hey, show me the book map, show me the book map, show me the book map, consider getting it. It really helps us out at StockedUp whenever you get that book map through our link. It really helps us. There's not really, I know it's kind of like a, more advanced platform, we'll say it, right? Bookmap's a little bit more advanced, but if you just put the time into learning it, you could do pretty damn good with it. So check out the link. I think you guys would be interested, especially if you're someone who loves it. Got Tessie moving here. Still can't break 250. It's funny. AMD, how we looking here? How's 100? Oh yeah, big stacks. 45,000 shares stacked at 100 on AMD. A lot of intraday areas like 101, 101.50. This is why there's so many supports and resistances at these whole dollar levels. It's just where people stack up.
It's nothing personal, so be cool.
Or 50-cent levels,
Okay, Bart, let's do this.
Come on, Tessie. Ooh, Citigroup starting to get a second leg down. Bank of America, too. Bank of America's about to break 27. Watch that support. Come on, Bank of America. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Break down for us or bounce? Probably bounce, but we'll see. Come on, BAC. What are you doing? You're right there. I'm going to have to open you up on Bookmap now. Wow. There it goes. There it goes. It just touched, though. I'm not saying it really went under yet, but the alert went off. The alert went off, we'll say. Yeah, you can see 27's been big all day. It just broke, kind of. That big volume dot just hit it. Let's see now if we can get bought back up or not. Come on. Break here. These stacks of shares are funny. There's like 30,000 shares all over the place. 32,000 shares at $26.98. Look at the SVP, 170,000 right there. Session volume profile, jeez. Looking pretty crazy. About 15 minutes for Big Daddy, guys. Only 15 minutes for him. Let's go. Everybody just hang out for a minute. I had to go grab some tea real quick for Big Daddy. Really, I just need to throw some calories in me after doing this for a couple hours. You know, early morning, got to get some calories in, right? Don't blame Tom too hard. I'll be right back. Just give me about a minute. Just got to throw it on the stove. Yes, I made.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes.
All right, we have it going. We have it going. Sorry about that. Looking good, though. SPY's bouncing at 426, which we've had on the chart for a while. Nvidia, Tesla, QQQ. Come on. I want SPY to break under 426. Please, SPY. Big Daddy coming up soon. How is Tesla doing now? Okay, they're still holding up pretty well. They're still having problems, though, getting through 250, which is funny. But at least they're holding up pretty high, right? They're pretty high.
All right, all right, all right.
Oh, yeah, he likes it. Who else likes it? Do you guys like the Tessies higher? Or were you guys looking for it to drop off more with those deliveries? I'm curious. I'm sure the majority of you hope the deliveries would be good. All right, check out the poll now. We have a vote for what Powell's going to do to us here. Vote up in the poll. Let's go. Got that Tesla starting to break 250. Let's go look at the book map on Tessie. Tesla just got through 250. Woo. Come on, Tesla. What are you going to do here at 250? More rejection, or are you going to actually have some good movement? Yeah, I wonder how Tesla's gonna do. You know, Ollie Bear just brought up a great point in the Discord, and I want to bring it up with you guys and see what you guys think about it. I'm looking at Tesla here, and, you know, Ollie Bear made a great point. He said, is it really a delivery miss, or is everybody just waiting for the Cybertruck? You know, that's a good point, right? Because Tesla is coming out with those fairly soon. I mean, we've even seen them leaving the factory. So we're going to see deliveries being taken on those somewhat soon. And then now, they're also redoing their Model 3. They're going to do a revamp of it. Make it a little bit cooler, a little better. Excuse me, guys. Couldn't get that one to stay in. But Pooty, I'll have him on here, man. We'll have him right here. You don't got to go nowhere for Big Daddy. We'll have him here. If you really want to, though, it's just go on YouTube and look him up. It'll be on there. But yeah, I got you guys. I got you. I'll have him live. I'll type it so everybody knows. We're staying a little extra here for this today. You gotta get Big Daddy going. About 9 minutes away from him. 9 minutes. My tea better be done before then, or I'm gonna be sad. I'm drinking the Lady Grey tea. I had to quit having so many energy drinks. Not that they were necessarily hurting me or anything, but I would just say for digestion's sake, it's a lot better to not have them. We'll say that. I know everyone out there, though, is probably drinking their Red Bulls today, and it makes me sad because I want one. Drink plenty of water, yeah. Yeah, that's actually what I have right now until the tea comes. Ah, beautiful water. Oh yeah, I've been trying to gain some weight. Let me update you guys on that real quick. We'll do a quick weigh-in before Powell comes up, right? Let me be right back. I'll tell you what I was at 125 when I had COVID. Verdict is in. I'm at 129. So I've gained 4 pounds. I was really at 430 or 130, but I didn't feel like getting naked. So I'll just take a pound off for my clothes. But yeah, doing good. Come on, Powell, let's go. We got 5 minutes on him. But yeah, the weight is 129. So I've gained 4 pounds this past week. Pretty good. I'll take it. If I could get into like the 133 range in the next week or two, I'd be really happy. One thing that's been really helping me out is chocolate milk. Just downing as much chocolate milk as humanly possible has helped me, actually. It's pretty cool. Seeing your weight go. Come on, Tessie. Still running up. Breaking 250 now like it was nothing. I'm just kidding. It didn't break like it was nothing, but... You can see on Bookmap 250, we got through there. Now we got through that big 251 area as well. I mean, sheesh, Tesla. Now 252. It's funny, on Tesla, at every whole dollar mark, there's like a big stack of sellers lined up. It's just too popular of a stock. Too much volume, right? It's a good thing, though. It's good. Makes it fun. Makes it fun out there. Oof, SPY. 426 support. If Powell makes us break 426, this could get rough today. I wish the QQQ would do bad like SPY. Four minutes out from him, guys. Just 4 minutes away from the man, the myth, the legend.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on. Hurry up.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Make my day, Powell. Let's go. We will have him here soon. Three minutes out. We will have him here. See that watch list. What are we seeing with the movers? Peloton and Nvidia to the upside. Are you kidding me right now? Ooh, at least Nvidia. Ooh, I like this. Nvidia's rejecting off 450. It has a lower high going on today. This looks like honestly like a decent put opportunity here. Very decent put opportunity with Powell speaking. Now, Powell speaking is going to throw a wrench into things, but Nvidia, I don't know. That looks pretty darn good back to the downside to me. Let's go. Let's go, guys. We got Powell going. Can't wait for it. 2 minutes out. Only 2 minutes. Stick around for him. We'll have him right here. And trust me, if the stream's quiet or something, I will turn him up. Just let me know how the volume sounds once he starts talking, and we'll have it going. Keep in mind, it's a roundtable, okay? It's a community roundtable, so don't expect anything too crazy. So close. A minute out. 1 minute. Let's go. Let me know what stocks you guys see moving here today. We will eye some up while Big Daddy speaks. We'll have them side by side with the market. Come here, Powell. Yeah, get over there. Get over there for us. It should be just about going. Considering he starts on time. You know, we gotta say that. Powell doesn't always start right on time, but we got it. I'm gonna change the stream name real quick too. Changing the stream name up. There we go. Jerome Powell live. I wonder if that would change on the thumbnail. It'd be kind of cool. Come on, Powell. You gonna be speaking? He's gonna keep us waiting now. Don't do it. Looks like everything is consolidating right now. Everyone is waiting for Powell. Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. Everyone's waiting. How's the poll doing right now? 13 votes. Powell will move markets. Nice. Chop, chop, chop. I hope he gets us moving. I got my Lady Gray tea ready for him. I guess we'll just sit on this until he comes up. SPY's still bouncing on 426. Yeah, for now, Cornish, you're right. For now. Don't sleep on Peloton. PTON, baby. Oh, he's here. Let's go. Big Daddy's getting ready for us. Let me get the background music off. All right, I'm going to get quiet and let Big Daddy take over here. As soon as, as soon as they're done or they're starting to go. I like this Keith guy. He looks like me. This is kind of cool. We got Powell next to some guy in an Under Armour hat. I never thought I'd see the day where this happened. Powell's like, this man didn't put a suit on for me. Dang it. Is it just me, or can you guys not hear that? Is it going, or what the hell's going on? CNBC might be doing a bad job. We might have to go see if Yahoo Finance has one. Come on. This isn't cool. He's on, but you can tell he's not really talking or anything like that yet. So I think that they're just getting things going. We'll get him going, though. Yeah, see, CNBC, they're trying. They're trying. You can tell they're trying for it, but... All right, guys, I'm going to turn this up so we can hear it better, but just realize it's going to make everything else sound crazy. Oh, shit. Dude, they got to get this fixed. They got to get this fixed somehow. Oh my gosh, Powell. This is unhearable. I mean, I can't even fix it. It's so low, I can't even make it better. That's how low it is. All right, I'm turning it up.
You are the smallest size.
I have it turned up a lot, so. I got it.
You're right there. Okay, you're less than that. So, really, I'd like to first again thank all of you, the Roundtable participants, for taking your time. You're really busy and taking your time.
I'm trying to really make this sound better.
So I first want to turn to Kevin. Can you do an introduction? I think you already. Okay. Yeah. So I want to turn to first to Kevin. Kevin, floor to you to talk a little bit about what's happening here. What are you seeing as the head of the YCEA? What are the opportunities? What are the problems? What are the issues you're still working on?
Sure, and thank you again to President Parker and thank you to Chairman Powell. Your teams have been incredible to work with, so we really are very grateful for all the work that you're doing and for coming to York today to really shine a spotlight on the work that we're doing. As many of our community partners around this table, and then so many others outside of the community are actively working on every day. We had the brief opportunity on the roof of the Yorktown to really take a panoramic look at York County and talk about where we're doing well, but also some of the challenges that exist And I would maybe set the tone by saying, like a lot of communities, the pandemic really compounded issues that existed prior to COVID-19 and only made them worse. So, in many ways, we're working back towards this. But in spite of the pandemic, in 2020, this community worked together over the course of a year to develop a 10-year county economic action plan. And the goal of that plan is really to be rooted in data, to understand where it is that we are doing well and where we do have room for improvement, but ultimately to make the paradigm shift in economic development. So people-centered, place-based economic development. We've done that, and some of what we'll talk about today are really the fruits of that labor. We really shifted to sort of a couple focus areas. One is let's build the quality community that talented people want to live in and attract and retain talented workforce. Let's focus on growing career pathways and reducing barriers to employment. And then let's enhance the culture of entrepreneurialism and innovation. And a couple examples that I give of those overarching themes of this plan were really a lot of what we'll talk about today. We recognize in that plan that York County lags the state and national average in the birth rate of small businesses. And the reason for that is access to capital, access to resources, education, and opportunity. That led us to create the Bloom Business Empowerment Center, which is now an emerging CDFI, to really drive those resources to our small businesses throughout our county. We're now proud to say we've raised $7 million in capital to deploy. Over $400,000 has been deployed in small business grants to small businesses across your county, with a majority of those grants being awarded to businesses owned by women or individuals of color in low and moderate income communities. We've tackled bridging the digital divide through an investment of $27 million by our county government to deploy 144 miles of middle mile fiber and build 2 wireless networks that are free in the York Metro and Hanover Metro area. And the work that we've been doing with the Philly Fed has really led us to focus on those barriers to employment stability. Issues like child care, transportation, again, issues that existed prior to COVID-19, but were just compounded. And the work that our team and the York community has done for a national cohort with the Philly Fed has really been immeasurable and has led to a lot of the work that you're seeing today. Here we sit as we focus on some of the people-centered programs. We also focus on building place. And where we sit here today in the Yorktown Hotel, a $70-ish million economic development project in the York community to ensure that this building remained a complementary asset. But we weren't just focused on the bricks and mortar, we were focused on the people inside. Tatiana, I know you had a chance to meet, but we worked closely with partners in higher ed, like a college, to marry 4-year degrees and a hospitality major that your college has, but we recognize that it's not a pathway for everyone. So this community created a hospitality certificate program. Tatiana is one of those graduates and is now working here at the Yorktown Hotel. And then finally, really with partners across this table, we've been able to focus on important needs like childcare. And this community has been able to raise millions of dollars to roll out several initiatives, not only to address access to quality, affordable childcare, but also growing the number of teachers in the childcare industry. It is the number one reason that employers cite in terms of absenteeism. So we need to do a better job, not just here in New York, but across the country, in addressing the needs for childcare. So I know that was a lot and a little, but really all of the work that we're doing is rooted in data. The work with the Philly Fed continues to pay immeasurable dividends. And it has continued to create new collaborative partnerships to focus on housing, to focus on our cultural arts sector, our outdoor economy. And we're just very grateful today for the spotlight that you're helping to shine and the work that will continue here forward. And on behalf of the York County Economic Alliance, I would like to shift the discussion and ask my good friend, to my left over here, Kim Bracey, who's the president and CEO of our York YWCA. Kim also happens to be a former mayor of the city of York. If you could speak to how households throughout your county are experiencing our current economic conditions.
Thank you, Kevin. As he said, I am Kim Bracey, the CEO of YWCA here in York, and it's my honor to be here with all of you this morning. Households in York City, York County are increasingly finding themselves squeezing to make ends meet, to providing all of everything, from goods and services, and working parents is experiencing the difficulties in finding.
I swear to God, if they make it sweet, they're fucking back.
But at the end of the day, it's still a cost. It's a big cost to their family's household. We're county child care centers, many of them are operating still at a lower capacity of staffing, 85% in some cases. We feel pretty good about the staffing we have to always continue to help grow that as well. But it does, when there's not staff, it encourages, it unfortunately affects the families. Everything affects everything. It forces families to take time off that they may not even have while they're waiting for child care. And let us not talk about the cost of child care and how that is forcing parents out of the labor force and making a decision which way to go. Who in the household should be working, particularly the mother or the father. We've been working closely with their county economic alliance and pathways workforce committee and surveying our families regarding child care access and what they're looking at families or workforce. This information will be helpful to share with child care across our county and help us figure it all out.
Man, this sucks. How could they not get this audio better?
Some of the struggles that we've heard specifically from our families, they work part-time because they can't find someone to watch and take care of their children, and they cannot afford the cost of child care that it is. We see people who are using credit cards, unfortunately, paying the child care costs to us. And we have that out. These folks are not saving they don't have savings. There's no retirement fund in their future. So they're not able to save for that vacation in many cases. They have to pay for child care in order to work. We, who YMCA work, are extremely dedicated to our families at all. And we are dedicated to eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for everyone at the same time. When the person cannot pay, we bear that cost. We're a non-profit organization, so trying to meet the needs of our organization, meet the needs of families, everything affects everything. You heard me say that many times while I'm there. Everything affects everything. And that's the story that's very controversial.
Could you provide a little closer to you? I think that the point that you made about childcare expenses being my favorite was profound. Can you talk a little bit more about that economic pressure for families?
And definitely. Just being able to, in many cases, is for families that we have to be able to have a credit card and then they have to use that for child care costs. It's sad in many cases, and we try our best to assist. Everything apparently from tax credits that we end up getting, and we do have oftentimes from partnership with our business community. They run out by the time the end of the school year is there when the family may need it most, and they have to pull out that credit card to take care of their child care costs. It's a kind of a new phenomenon, if you will. It seems families are resorting to that. They don't have the savings to dip into the cost of child care to run an organization to pay the child care workers. It comes with that method to provide for the child care costs. So,
if I could also invite, we have great partners in our employers across our county. We're delighted to have with us today our largest employer in York County. As I shared with Chair and President Parker, York County has a very diverse labor force, where about 18% is employed in advanced manufacturing. But closely on the heels is at 17% is healthcare, and has certainly been growing and is represented today with the President and CEO of Wellspan Health, our county's largest employer in central Pennsylvania, Ms. Roxanna Gapster. I was wondering, Roxanna, if you could speak to what are the public health conditions here in York County?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Kevin. delighted to be here today. Thanks so much for being with us. Public health conditions in York County are underfunded and not big enough. And as you know, we just came through the pandemic, and I would say without our health systems across South Central Pennsylvania, we would have really been in tough shape in terms of public health. So the one health department in the county of York is in York City, and they have less than 5 employees working for them. So what less than that? Yeah, I think it might be 2 or 3. But and so what happened during the pandemic was that health systems really had to work toward what were the preventive needs of the community and fulfill those needs. And so what we saw were open-air testing sites, vaccination clinics being set up by health systems across our geography. At WellSpan, we within 4 to 6 hours built an online scheduling system, and within the first 24 hours after the vaccine was released, we had more than 50,000 people signed up in our area to come and get a vaccine at WellSpan. In fact, we had people from as far away as Philadelphia and Harrisburg signing up because we were very quick to get that out. In addition to that, we opened multiple open-air testing sites in the York County Fairgrounds here in York. We had a large testing site with 10 to 12 lanes for vehicles and traffic. So those are just a few of the things that we had to do. I mean, I think the pandemic also showed us that long term we need to think differently about public health, and we need to think differently about health and human services and how we all work together, because it really takes a village during something like that. I will just mention a couple of other things about healthcare in the county. Certainly for our long-term care facilities, in those businesses, we are seeing, of course, the workforce issues, not just in healthcare systems, but in long-term care. And with the new staffing ratios that went into effect July 1st for long-term care in Pennsylvania, what we're seeing is, bed closures and decreased access. So that's been really tough, because then patients can't, of course, get out of hospitals to go to the long-term care facility. They are with us much longer, which isn't the right site of care for them. So overall, I think public health in York County needs a boost. We have been talking about that as a county and with our elected officials to think about what policy solutions might be out there, but really want to make sure that we are all aware that health systems really carried that burden the last few years.
Kevin, Ken, and Russell, thank you so much for your perspectives. One of the things that was mentioned earlier, but I think one of our jobs in the region is connected to the manufacturing sector. And so we have 2 perspectives in the whole game that Bruce and Tom can give us some insight on the history of manufacturing in the region, as well as where we're headed before we open manufacturing.
Thank you. Nice to see you. My name is Bruce. I'm the president and CEO of Mantech. Mantech is part of the MEP, NIST MEP network at the federal level and state level. We work under the Industrial Resource Center network. What we do, we're nonprofits supporting manufacturers. And we focus on small to medium-sized manufacturers, of which there are...
I can hardly understand this crap. What about you guys? It sounds... Man, they got to get this shit fixed in the future.
For manufacturing, healthcare is close on our heels. We are still the #1 employer, the #1 in wages, and the #1 distributor of GDP in York County. So it is without a doubt kind of the backbone of the center. On Mantech's side, when we're working with manufacturers, we help them in sales and marketing, process improvement, manufacturing technology, and their workforce. We like to say we help them top line, bottom line, and pipeline. So we're working with them holistically in their businesses as they try to grow and thrive in those businesses. You heard some of the stats. I always like to say that if it's made, it's made here. We have one of the most highly diversified manufacturing bases. There's not an automotive industry that drives everything. There's not, if you pick an industry, we have life sciences, we have pharmaceuticals, we have vehicles and motorcycles right down the street. If you name it, we are involved in it. That diversified base provides some protection in downtimes, which is wonderful. And it helps maintain us, which is a fantastic place to be. But the other things we've been doing, in my opinion, is, and I think it's the biggest challenge, I think of this in terms of land, labor, and capital, that whole economic framework. And for the past 20 years, I would say that the labor has been the only constraint that's existed among those. And in the current environment, with rising interest rates, there's certainly now constraints on the capital that is established in Pakistan as well. But there's no doubt there's a constraint within capital. And in the workforce, we can talk about forever. There are so many partners at this table that can get into that. I'll stay on that lane. But when I look at my biggest concern in the region is we are lagging behind in investment of advanced technologies, automation, CMMC. You kind of picked that Industry 4.0, and we're a little bit behind in those investments. And I think that is problematic on multiple levels. And even though there is a rising cost of capital, these investments have to be made because they're going to drive productivity. Productivity drives GDP, and GDP drives wages. So if you want to be able to have more career pathways that have pay scales that can afford healthcare and childcare and some of these other ancillary things, there's no doubt we need to have a highly productive workforce and a highly productive manufacturing sector. So that's, to me, the biggest constraint and area of concern that I see is our lack of adoption of technologies. And part of that diversified I think, is a little bit of why not. There isn't an automotive industry or an industry cluster that forces and drives that adoption of technology. So our manufacturers definitely need to make those investments. And even with rising interest rates, there's almost always ROI on those investments. There's no doubt. If the work is there, the return is there. It's just a matter of kind of stepping up. And look, I kind of believe we're potentially heading into kind of a post-Bretton Woods world, and we're going to see more and more nearshoring, onshoring. Those initiatives are going to be extensive, and we need to have a manufacturing sector that is ready to take on these challenges and provide a highly productive environment, and do it where they're competing on a worldwide stage. So historically, we made everything for hundreds of years, and that's phenomenal. And I'm not an optimist. I'm wearing a black and blue Steelers fan, so then you have to have some. So while I see concerns, I'm highly optimistic. It's been an unbelievably adaptable and resilient sector for more than a century. So I believe, and that's the thing that every day I wake up, kind of the relentless pursuit of it keeps me.
What in the fuck was that? Oh my God.
Entrepreneurs, they're starting or maintaining these businesses and growing them. They continually are trying to adapt and advance.
What the fuck? What are they doing to my ears right now? Oh my gosh. At least give me a like, guys. At least shoot me a like, please. I'm trying to make the audio as good as I can here. I'm trying. At least give me the like. Go dislike their stream, okay? Please. Don't dislike this one. Alright, I gotta turn it back up, but
to announce a major
problem is if they do that crap again now, it's extra loud.
So. Chose to be in New York at Conrad Company Panair brand. I think that says something about what we're doing in the sector. We've seen a company advance some of those technologies. We probably all saw the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft come back to Earth with a piece of an asteroid. That heat shield was made in Denver, PA, at Weaver Industries. So you see us in all of the York wall coverings, a couple blocks from here. Been around since 1895. It's a company that's adapted to new fads, new technologies, new customer bases for over 125 plus years, and I think they will continue to do so. Joseph Machine Company down the street is working with Tesla. So there's a company that no one would know unless they drove in the parking lot. They exist, and yet they are a critical partner in the transition to the electronic vehicle renaissance that's occurring in the country. So we have a ton of success stories. I want those to be the norm across the sector, and I think the number one place we can get there, in spite of a higher cost of capital environment, is making those investments in technologies that's going to drive productivity and drive your companies forward in the manufacturing sector. That's really kind of my spiel on it, because I know Tom's got a lot to talk about as well, so I'll hand it over to Tom.
Hey, it's me.
Good morning. Tom Powell. I'm Executive Director of the Manufacturers Association. We're headquartered here in New York, but we do cover what's called South Central Pennsylvania. We have about 450 members, which equates to about 100,000 employees that are part of those areas. So As Bruce said, this region is highly diverse from an economic perspective in manufacturing, but also in a structure as well. So we have a ton of Harley-Davidsons, Hershey Foods, Johnson Controls, BAE Systems, but we also have machine shops like Billet Industries that supplies the submarine industrial base, and Tooling Dynamics, which also supplies the green energy windmill sector. So not only is it industry diverse, we don't have any dominant industry here necessarily, but we also have a lot of different sizes of companies in that supply chain. We do have some assets, though, that you may not be aware of. We were the hub of the electronic connectors industry in this region. AMP Industries from the 50s and 60s spun out. Phoenix Contact, Amphenol Industries, TE Connectivity, the three top electronic connector companies in the globe are located in this region. You may all have also heard about the snack food capital of the world. That's a term we use around here, from Hanover through York, Lancaster, up into Reading, Pennsylvania. Campbell Snacks, Utz, the Hershey Company, Turkey Hill, Wolfgang Candies, it goes on and on. It's a really growth sector in this region, and it's weathered the pandemic and up and down the economy very well. So, a couple other things from a historical perspective. As I said, we're part of the association. We were born here in 1906, kind of at the early ages of the industrial sector. One of the founding companies was York Manufacturing, which later became part of Johnson Controls, which is still here. We also were part of, from a historical factor, you'll see murals around the city about this, the York Plan, which was a plan around World War II that networked manufacturing, both underutilized capacity amongst manufacturers, idle machines, workforce, and pooled them together to bid on defense contracts. And that became a model for the rest of the U.S. when it was fighting World War II, as far as how do we organize our industrial capacity. So, incredible history here. I should also note from a growth perspective, because we like to talk about the growth side, every year in this region, I think since the Great Recession, we've added jobs. I think it's like 10,000 jobs over the last 10 years. We've recovered the manufacturing jobs that we lost from the recent pandemic. We're growing in GDP, as Bruce had said as well. So a lot of good things to say. A couple of the other areas I think we'll touch on more. The labor issue is significant and problematic. Pennsylvania in general is a net exporter of population, so that's a severe problem. We're not sending our youth in high school to career and tech education like our competitor states are. We have about 6.4% of the students in career and tech ed. Our competitor states around us have 19% of those individuals in career and tech ed, which is critical to manufacturing and being successful. A couple other areas I wanted to mention, we kind of divided it up. I know supply chain comes up quite a bit, inflation. I think most of our companies have done well bouncing back on the supply chain issue. There are still some shortages out there. One of our companies mentioned about shortages of resin still. It's very difficult to get on a timely basis, but generally companies have adapted to that issue. Inflation is becoming a bigger and bigger problem for our manufacturers, especially small and mid-size, which, as Bruce said, is the vast majority of our companies in this region. We have companies that are struggling to find working capital, affordable working capital, to make those investments. The price of automation is such that they cannot leverage affordable resources to invest in that automation, so that's a critical problem. Companies are also concerned about prices. Some of our small, mid-sized companies talked about the Fortune 500 companies coming to them with price pressure to reduce costs in an environment, as we know, that's virtually impossible to do that. So they're struggling to balance that out with their customers. So I would say generally there's a future positivity, but one of the things I keep hearing over and over is uncertainty. And where a lot of our small, mid-sized companies are looking at uncertainty, they're not investing as much. They've definitely slowed down in hiring, although skilled labor especially, is still a major problem. that has trickled down into some slower hiring and slower investment for the manufacturing sector, especially in our mid-sized and small companies. So, lots of good news for South
We
Central
want
PA.
Powell.
We talked
We
about
want
compared to the
Powell.
state, this is a growing region overall, healthcare, manufacturing, other sectors, but especially in manufacturing. We're highly diverse. There's lots of opportunity, lots of investment from companies still, even at this point. Hershey is just putting in a new multi-$100-million chocolate factory in the Hershey area. We just located a headquarters for bus climate control down the road in York here. So those are still happening, but there has been a significant change of uncertainty that's happening in the marketplace. And, I guess one of the questions would be, how long can the companies survive these constant uncertain times from the pandemic, the war in Europe, inflation, labor strife, price pressures, all those things keep coming and coming. And I'm just concerned that our companies at some point will pull back significantly if there's not kind of a period of time where you can catch up, take a breath, maybe make those investments in automation. So I think they've done very well and are very resilient, especially in our region, but there is a point at which that kind of runs out, maybe getting to that point. So thank you for coming today. I look forward to talking more.
This is a great point for us to pause. I want to thank you all for your comments. Before we open up for questions, we're going to take a brief break and adjust our mics so that everyone can hear us. I apologize for the microphone issue. And so we're just going to stay in our seats, and then we'll open it up to questions from the chair, President Harkin.
Yeah, but are they working?
Damn right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it down until they come back. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that sounded like a big old load of bullshit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think there, but yeah, how did they not test the mic before they started or something? I mean, that was just god awful. And our boy Powell didn't even speak, really, so I don't know. I am dumbfounded by what CNBC has put forward here. But hey, it happens, right? Even my mic has messed up a couple times. So, but
We're ready to go. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Thank you for.
They're ready already.
And thank you for your comments on economic conditions across the region. Those were extraordinarily helpful. I'm going to open it up to the chair and President Parker to see if they have any questions before we open the discussion.
So, thank you, and thank you for your, for your comments.
Here we go.
What's really to me is how important it is to have a plan, and the fact that you have had a plan and have a plan. Many smaller cities and regions in the country have had a hard time, or having a hard time, especially, frankly, those that were manufacturing based. But you have, with your plan over many years, you've really focused on manufacturing as a base to build on, and it does seem to be working. I hear you about Tom, about the challenges and the uncertainty that we're facing in this time. The other thing that comes, and I think there'll be a question at the end of this, but the other thing that comes out though is we're still coming through the other side of the pandemic, right? So particularly, Kim, the comments you were making, unemployment went so high, labor force participation went down, but now we're left with a very strong labor market, people coming back into the labor market. You've got people working from home. Healthcare costs in particular is very tough on the healthcare industry. A lot of workers left the healthcare industry, and I think nationally are having a very hard time to find people. So the training of new healthcare and childcare people has to be has to be tremendously important. You mentioned, both Bruce and Tom mentioned a lot of problems around great issues to face, but manufacturing with international competition, but just also supply chain issues and inflation. So what am I going to ask you as a question? I appreciated your comments, and I wonder if it feels like your plan enabled you to come through COVID better than you otherwise would have. That you actually have a plan in place, and that's what's very striking to me. I'll just open it for reactions to that.
I think it absolutely did, Chairman. And I think the other benefit that had was we had a plan in place when funding streams like CARES and Rescue came available. So we could immediately put to good use those dollars, get them out the door quick to those who most needed it. But it really did position the community well to leverage those dollars, utilize them, strategically deploy them, and then be in position now, even a couple years later, to start seeing other funding sources come available, things like whether it has been Bloom or Fiber. It put us in position to capitalize upon them, and unquestionably it has put us in a better position today, a couple years hence, to also then, not only continue the work that we're doing, but focus on the next challenges like the housing sector or childcare. So continue that, kind of collaborative and data-rich. I don't want to necessarily punt, but I also think, Tom, the work that the manufacturing community has done now for the federal TIDE program, having these plans in place and aligning all of our community partners and resources together has now put us in position to secure a very important federal designation as well.
Yeah, and based on kind of our regional partnerships and the region having a plan and working together, we were able to secure a $6.1 million project focused on workforce for the submarine industrial base for South Central PA. We have Pennsylvania's the state with the most number of critical shipbuilders in the country. The Navy's identified it. So they focused on Pennsylvania as a way to how can we increase production of those key assets in the Navy. And they've identified Pennsylvania to do that, applied some resources, and we were able to secure some workforce dollars to help focus on more machinists, more welders, more maintenance folks. And these are folks who will be training that are new to the industry. We're not going to be retraining existing folks. We need to bring that pool together to increase the number of folks that can get into the defense sector. So we just received that, so we'll be working on that as a region, leveraging our workforce assets, our local tech schools to do that. So it's an exciting thing based on the planning that worked.
So if I could follow up, on the planning, follow up with the chair, asked, what's the secret sauce, right? Why does it work here and it doesn't work other places? You don't have to criticize other places. Maybe. My wife's family's all Steelers fans from Pittsburgh. So you can criticize that. That's it.
I want to mention the chair's affiliation with the Washington Commanders.
No, we don't.
It's a rough morning. I think it sounds cliche or cheesy, but I think it's true. It is the partners and the people in this room and so many others that are putting that plan, to work. It's very much not a plan sitting on the shelf. I mean, it really is. Things like CARES came available, rescue funds came available. We've been able to procure, state and federal support for a variety of things. We didn't sit back and wait, for those funds to, dissipate or evaporate as they tend to do. Put them to good use right away. So I really do think it's the ability that we've had to align a lot of disparate parties and people and organizations really for the kind of North Star that we've been after, which is just enhancing shared widespread prosperity in this community.
Just if I can echo that, so many smaller communities have really suffered from losing aspects of their manufacturing base, and you kind of made it a centerpiece of your strategy not to let that happen. It seems to be working. I get it that there are many, many obstacles to that, but it's pretty striking that this can be really at the heart of what you're doing here.
I have
Can I ask you to eliminate a little bit more granular and ask about the digital project that you mentioned, kind of broadband, and broadband is now kind of critical to work, critical to school. Can you talk a little bit about the gaps that exist in terms of broadband access in the region and how it's impacting the economy?
Sure. Thank you, Teresa. We're a county of 450,000 population, 900 square miles. So it's a pretty geographically large county, an hour drive, hour plus, county line to county line. In 2020, when we're doing our economic plan, CARES funding became available. We, with support of our county government, were able to do a countywide connectivity study to really lend data to anecdote, right? We know if you're driving around and you lose cell service or you're in a pocket where it doesn't necessarily have broadband, we were able to get real objective data. So there are absolutely pockets of York County and rural York County that are upwards of 70% without federally defined high-speed internet. And in York County, it's really twofold. It's infrastructure in rural parts, and it's affordability and access in urban areas. So there are pockets in our York metro, in the city of York, or in Hanover Borough, where it's upwards of 50% don't have access to high-speed internet. So we've been trying to bridge the digital divide in York County, and again, through support with county government, through rescue and CARES funding, we've now have $27 million allocated. And in terms of a fun project that we didn't let sit on the shelf, we knew this existed, we did the county study. With CARES funding, which was under a time crunch to spend, we opted to just build a middle mile network under a county asset, which is our Heritage Rail Trail. It's a 16-mile bike ped path that starts in the city and goes to the Maryland line. 40 years ago, the planners at the time buried conduit underneath it. It's a county park. It's owned by the county. We ran 16 miles of fiber underneath it, put up 2 wireless antennae, and are pushing out a free Wi-Fi signal. That was a proof of concept project that showed that we could do it. The county could own this asset. And now we're in a second phase where we're building out over 100 miles of middle mile fiber connecting parts of southern York County. So really Hanover to the Susquehanna River, Route 30 to Maryland, that the county will own, and then work with private operators to then serve as an ISP to better connect homes and businesses. That tackles the rural element of it. The urban affordability and access still exists, and in that our county government allocated $5 million to build a free basic need wireless network in the York Metro and the Hanover Metro area. That's underway, and that'll be up and running, hopefully in 2024. So it's not the type of network that a resident in the city might stream multiple devices or binge watch on Netflix. But if you need telehealth, if you need a virtual meeting, if your child needs to do virtual learning, it's a resource. And so, again, credit to having an economic plan that said this existed, doing further study to lend objectivity to anecdote, and then having resources available and having a host of partners, community organizations, and elected leaders that said, let's invest this wisely.
Thank you. Any other questions before?
Yeah, Kim, I was very curious about, you talked about one side of the equation on child care. Obviously the demand is very large. But what's driving the cost? Some of it also is availability of labor. Can you speak to that? I mean, what we hear in other places is it's just hard to find child care workers.
The cost, again, for the individual families, everything is driving those costs, right? The cost for goods and services just to survive as a family is part of that. And for a family to decide what they are going to pay for, I think are some of those things that come into play. The cost to run an operation obviously is everything. I'll say the regulatory parts of it, staying compliant, having enough staff, the ratio, being mindful of making sure everyone is able and trained properly as well too. So we are very happy to be part of those sort of plans because childcare, you can't have manufacturing without having a means for the children or care for them as well too. So the leadership of YCAA to be inclusive with childcare is critical to this, and definitely thinking of those costs and those things that affect the family just to get by every day. we appreciate being part of the conversation and being in those studies.
I've often heard that childcare is the workforce behind the workforce, and I do think that's a true statement.
Indeed.
So thank you for those perspectives on economic conditions. And if no one else has any other comments, I'm going to turn it to President Harker to move the conversation to our workforce.
Yeah, so we want to pivot to, right after we were just talking about workforce and continue to talk about that. As you know, the Fed has a dual mandate, stable prices, we're working on that, and maximum employment. The way I think of that, and personally, and the chair may have a different view, but is obviously that everyone who wants a job can get a job. But then on the flip side of from the employers, everyone who wants to fill a job can find an employee, right? So it's both. It's really both. So as we think about this and the kind of programs that are necessary to fulfill that mandate, it really needs outreach. We need to bring more people off the sidelines into the economy, more people working that in jobs where they thought they probably couldn't work, right? Or they didn't have the skills to work. It's starting to get more people into the right places with the skill sets they need to have those fulfilling careers. And for the employers then to have those employees who want those fulfilling careers and have the skills. So, you know, we met with such a great person this morning, Tatiana, to my right, to talk about the program here, the hospitality training program, and how it really does meet that need of bringing people into the workforce. So I want to turn to you, Tatiana, and ask, how did you hear about it? And as you think about the program, you know, what challenges did you have in finding employment before the program? And what's happened since?
Hi, everybody. My name's Tatiana. So I heard about the John Lambert training program through a small business program that I was doing through the YCA with Kevin and Sully. And that's kind of how I started doing the small business program, and then that's when I heard about the John Lambert program, which is a program that helps you, depending on which department that you're looking to go into. It could be either housekeeping or in the kitchen or front desk. It was a program to kind of help you start that journey on what to expect, what the employer is looking for. So I ended up taking each course that they had, so housekeeping, front desk, just kind of to get all those things under my belt. I knew it was something that I could take, you know, whether it not be here at the Yorktown, it's something that I could have under my belt or in my resume that could help me in the future as well. But I ended up doing this program, and I got my certificates for each program that they offered. And I really think that it helped me get my foot in the door. I don't think without those certificates that I got, I would have had the opportunity that I do now. So I started here due to because of the training program. I did my interviews and I got my foot in the door. So I started here as a server in February, and I quickly worked my way up from everything. So I'm currently a manager, and I'm hoping to go into the sales and marketing department here with the hotel. And as far as any challenges, I was seeking employment, but I was kind of looking to also work for myself. That's why I got into the small business program first. So I don't know how difficult it would be to seek employment right now, but I know a few people that also applied to the hotel that didn't make it to an interview. So I think the John Lambert program definitely helped me start my way and my journey into the hotel. I don't think that without it I would, have the opportunity that I did today.
Yeah, it's a great quote. We heard earlier that the program is named after an employee who worked here at the hotel for 60 years.
Yes.
I mean, what an amazing story, right? 60 years. So what a great testament to him, his family, and to the program. So let me turn to Keith. I mean, in your story at Harley.
So my name is Keith Forty, and I work with Harley Davidson. Been there just about a quarter of a century, which I find hard to believe. It's about half the time they've been in New York. But I was a part of an employment readiness program as well. And what I lacked when I took a look at this motorcycle maker in the sky that was here in York is I can't be part of it. What that program did for me was give me the skills that I needed, the knowledge that I needed, and I think most importantly, the confidence. And that's confidence in that knowledge, confidence in those skills, and just straight up confidence to sit in a room and talk to a panel of people, which that was the first time I had ever done that, a 5-panel interview, and have the confidence to tell them why I would be a good fit for their organization. And without that program or that availability to strengthen the workforce and make sure that they can align with what manufacturers need, which the group over here does a great job of making sure we're aligning not only as a manufacturer, but as an employee base, as a labor pool. When we have that connection, that's where the magic happens.
So let me pivot to Jesse to talk a little bit about your work and what you're hearing and seeing with respect to workforce.
Yep. Thank you for the opportunity to share. We welcome you to York. We're proud of our community. And before I jump into the workforce, I just have to say, that's probably one of the things I'm most proud about is the collaborative nature of everyone around this room. And it truly is what makes this community so strong. We're transcending the real lines that can divide us. Eagles, Steelers, Commanders. If we can get past that, we can do anything, right? So we have amazing training programs here at Yorktown. We've got community-based organizations in higher education and the business community. We were talking to President Harker before. What are the things that if a community can transcend, we can do some really great work? And it's getting past the two barriers of who gets the money and who gets the credit. And I think this community, I've been really proud around. It's not fighting for the money or the credit. It really is truly collaborative. I think, in talking about the workforce, I think the underlying element in the dual mandate that you all have is that full employment. And it's been well documented that one of the biggest barriers that we're facing right now, one of the key issues that most businesses are facing, both here in South Central Pennsylvania and across the country, is a lack of workforce, right? So as the CEO of the Workforce Development Board that serves an 8-county region here, which includes York, but also 7 other counties, it is our goal to invest in, evaluate, and advance high-impact workforce programs that drive economic mobility. We envision that this region can be a place where the opportunity for prosperity and growth exists for all people, both for job seekers and businesses. And so part of what we do as a workforce board is we're looking at those individuals who are on the sidelines, right? So let's carry the NFL metaphor a little bit, right? It's somebody who is not in the labor force. They're on the sidelines, they got their helmet, their pads ready to go, and they want to get into the game. So the Workforce Development Board, our mandate is to get those individuals the skills, knowledge, training, and education to get into the workforce to be productive members of our growing economic community. So what are some of the barriers that we see? As it's been well documented, the demographic droughts are difficult to reverse. An aging population across the country, low birth rates. Quick anecdote. This is my first day back from paternity leave. We just welcomed our 4th child a couple weeks ago. So we are doing our best to keep those birth rates as high as we possibly can. But it's going to take more than one family, right? So these are structural problems that are going to be challenging for us to navigate. So in a world in which there are structural limitations to the size of the workforce, that really is, not to borrow the term, but it's lower for longer in terms of the number of people in the workforce. How do we make that workforce more productive? And so the biggest barriers that we see is that really this should be a golden age for workers. When we consider that there are often more jobs available than there are available workforce, we're seeing that with rising wage pressure. This should be a golden age for workers. And so what is motivating workers, both here in New York and across the state and the country, is really pay, pathways, and purpose. And I would probably add a 4th one in there, the ability to pivot. So pay. What are the wages and what are the opportunity occupations, such as manufacturing and healthcare, that will be able to support my family, right? The family-sustaining wages. So we use a lot of that family-sustaining wage in MIT's living wage data to say, are these opportunity occupations that will really help
workers find pay. Pathways. For some of our higher education folks, if we have a college graduate coming up in May, what's the likelihood that that recent college graduate will need no more training, education, or professional development over the next 40 years of their career, right? Zero, right? So we need the opportunity to build really strong pathways. One thing that includes is the agility to be able to move and be nimble as there are changes in the labor market. I was thinking about, Bruce and Tom, your comments about manufacturing, 4.0 industry. How much will manufacturing change over the next 5, 10, 15 years with AI, automation, robotics? We need the pathways with our higher education and post-secondary partners to be able to build the agility into those pathways. And then purpose, right? Workers want to be a part of something bigger than to just be a cog in the wheel, right? I think about Harley and the incredible impact it's had on the community. So pay, pathways, purpose, and then that ability to pivot, right? To be able, over the next 40 years, to get the skills, knowledge, and ability to adapt with the changing times. Two other real quick comments here is, one of the things that we see is that, and we've noticed this a barrier with workforce development, is that there's this unfortunate dichotomy of either college or career, right? And we see this with higher education, I'm sure, seen this significantly, but even in parents and guardians, this idea of my kid's going to college and that's the only pathway, right? It was 13th grade for me, that was just the next logical step. I didn't know there were other options. But I would like to say that if we as a community can look at that, instead of college or career, it's college and, right? The ability to source a skilled talent workforce both through bachelor's degrees and in what we would call skilled through alternative routes, or STARS. And this is an acronym that Opportunity at Work, which is a great organization, has really piloted. The skilled through alternative routes, apprenticeships, on-the-job training, co-op programs, career and technical education. There are many ways that we need to build a skilled workforce in alternative routes from bachelor's degrees. I'm the beneficiary of a bachelor's degree. I think many of us here are in this room. But in order for us to solve the underlying problem of not enough workers, we need to source this through alternative routes. Last thing I would say is we have some great industry partnership programs here. Tom and I have been working together for 7 or 8 years on a number of industry partnership programs, grant funded through the state, where we put employers at the center of the table, so to speak, and let employers drive the conversation around what they need, what's valuable, and what the skills, knowledge, and training is really valued in the market today. Then the economic development, workforce development boards, and higher education respond with that demand-driven approach. And I think that's a real best practice that we've done a great job of here in this region, and I think it's replicable across the country, to put employers at the center instead of the train and hope that those graduates can perform in the market. It's putting those employers at the table and saying, this is where we need to invest. So there's a lot there. I'm really excited. I love your optimism, Bruce, about this region. My wife and I are transplants here. We moved here 12 years ago. We're just up north the road on 83 a little bit. This is home. This is a great place to live. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to raise a family. Great institutions, great businesses, low cost of living. So the story of South Central Pennsylvania, I think, will be a lot of the story of American growth. We love Philly and Pittsburgh, but what's happening here is really exciting. Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, speaking of higher education and our friends at Harley, Demetra, David, and Tom are going to talk a little bit about some of the ecosystem that we've built here, a great group of partners, including our business community, that's so instrumental in driving this conversation.
Hello, Demetra Middleton. I'm Harley Davidson, York Final Vehicle Operations Plant. We actually just celebrated 50 years here in York. And so again, excited to be at the table and have these partnerships with the various organizations here. I just moved here in 2019, so I'm not originally from York, but I found that York is a great place to live, work, and play, and a lot of it was that initial connection we made with York County Economic Alliance Council. So a few things that we've been able to partner with them for example, the job fairs. We participate in several of our job fairs, at the York Revolution Stadium. We've been able to communicate that, again, Harley-Davidson, it's a brand name that everyone knows. We make the world's most desirable motorcycles. Everyone wants one, right? But a lot of people don't realize that some things we've done to respond to the market is you only have to have a high school diploma or GED or 1 year work experience anywhere. We will train you as a production technician employee. We have a 3-shift operation. We run pretty much 24 hours. We're a union shop, so we have a lot of great opportunities, and through partnerships, we've been able to share those opportunities. With us not being the only manufacturer, as we said here, and a lot of competition, we found that working together, not only with the Manufacturing Association, Mantech, the local colleges, but also the Penn Airs, the bus climate control, RHI Magnesita, we found that we all need the same thing. So how can we work together and be collaborative in offering those opportunities to our employees? At Harley, we found that a lot of us needed welders, for example, in this organization. So we've been able to partner with the Manufacturing Association, with York County School of Technology for the past 4 years. We've been sending our internal employees for free training because of that to be welders, and that's been a successful internal career development program for us. We've also been partnering with the Manufacturing Association on our maintenance apprenticeship program. That is another topic when we get together in a lot of our conversations with the manufacturers. We're all looking for these same skill sets. So we've been able to work together to move forward with that. I know when you were mentioning about college isn't the only option. I laugh all the time because my father worked 30 years in manufacturing, retired from there, but college was the only opportunity he ever discussed with me. So once I got into manufacturing, I was like, Dad, you never told me manufacturing is a great career. It's something that I want to make sure that I share. So with my children, I was able to say, this child, college was a fit, but this child, it wasn't. So we were able to talk through, and because of the partnerships I had, he was able to get his HVAC certification through the York County School of Technology Adult Education Program. So again, we have all of these great partnerships and opportunity. Another thing that with the Welcoming Workplace Initiative, that a lot of us were able to come together as partners to bring together conversations where you have these various organizations where we can talk about how York is a great place to work, live, and play. And it has become a consortium of conversation where you can get more information about making sure that your workplace is inclusive, there is belonging, and you have those other organizations that you can learn from. At Harley-Davidson, it's a part of our strategy that inclusive stakeholder management, it's who we are. But I'm still able to talk to a Penn Air, to Bus Climate Control, RHI Magnesita, to find out what are they offering, and businesses of all sizes have that opportunity where we can collaborate through the Welcoming Workplace Initiative. Some of the barriers I'll just add that, again, has been a great partnership for us. Partnering with York County Economic Alliance, we currently have a child care survey that we're doing, and I work closely with the YWCA as well. And so that has been a challenge. I know WellSpan has the same challenges. When you have a 3-shift operation, 3rd shift child care is a big thing. And so we've been able to work together to try to figure out, okay, what can we find out what York needs as a community, and how can we work together to support it, because Harley-Davidson is a big name, but we can't do it by ourselves. So we need those partnerships. Same thing with transportation, that's another big one for us. We've been able to work to talk about what are some transportation options for our employees in the workforce.
Chairman Powell, President Harker, thanks for being with us. My name is Thomas Burns. I'm the president of York College of Pennsylvania, and I'm the newbie around the table. I just finished my 3rd month here, and so part of my role is to say that I'm here because York is a place where I felt I could thrive, and it's a community that's built on collaboration and cooperation. Everyone around this table has a connection to York College, and York College has a connection to everyone around this table. And it's lovely to be at a place that is interdependent and collaborative and cooperative. As Dimitri said, part of what we all need to work on is the idea of attracting and retaining talent. And part of the higher education, portfolio that David and I work in is really helping to attract people into our community, helping train them, and helping them stay here. So for the college, it starts with a program called YCOSP. It focuses on students who are at William Penn High School, which is here in New York City, and is an opportunity for, regardless of financial circumstances, chance for students to come to college with all their expenses covered. And it is meant to give them an opportunity to engage in higher education.
This is honestly, like, I'm going to be honest. I think I'm going to mute it until I see Big Daddy
here in
speaking.
York, but also to change
Or I'm just going to, like, keep it a little bit lower or something. I don't know.
place and their
Is this interesting to you guys? I have no idea. I'm going to put up a poll. I'm going to put up a poll.
We're also
Do you like this event so far? You guys, if you're in here watching, I want you to vote in this poll, okay? I want to get as many votes on this as possible that this event sucked, okay? This event sucked is going to be the first answer, and then it's going to say, I liked it, and then we'll have indifferent,
and provide it to the decision makers so they can use it to
and
make
then we'll
good
have,
decisions about their future. Of course, we're
Powell
really interested
is
in
awesome.
job placement and job
All right, here we
development for
go.
our students, and so we spend a fair amount of time focusing on real
Let me know what you guys
hands-on education at
think
your
about
college.
this here.
So we're heavily invested in internships and co-ops and study abroad. And an
I want to see a
opportunity
ton of
that
votes on this
Yorktown,
poll.
where we are all meeting, has provided us at the hotel. Was an
Let's go
opportunity
with
for our
firm
students
puts,
during the
AFRM.
development,
Let's
construction,
see.
and really the operation of this
AFRM
institute to
puts.
bring
Let's
our
check in
students
on
into
some
those
stocks here until we see Powell speak again. Yeah, firm falling off to the downside, looking pretty rough. I mean, I would say the puts are looking good. It's just you're running right into this small area of support / resistance around 2050, and then of course $20 even will be another major level coming up. So be a little bit careful of it, but I do like the momentum so far down on it. I would rather you trade like puts on something like AMD maybe, right? Like it's breaking a bigger support, I'd say. Maybe even puts on like QQQ or SPY or something like that. Seems pretty fire too. All right, vote up in the poll, guys. 12 votes. 12 votes so far. Let's go. Let's get 30 plus votes. We have 32 viewers. Let's get 30 votes. This will be pretty good.
And then last but not least for us is the
Harry's on AMD. Nice. I remember that. Are you still winning? Should be doing pretty good still, I think. Coming down.
So the J.D. Brown Center for Entrepreneurship
Seems like there's some support around 102.20, 102.10, somewhere real close to there.
But then it transcends itself into a place that we've developed called
Oh my God, is this guy still going on? I'm turning the background music back on. That's how much. Oh, actually, I shouldn't do that. That's right, because sorry, I forgot we have the sound has to be boosted so loud so you guys could hear the Powell thing that it's hurting my other audio.
Also developing a production facility.
Sorry if that one was loud.
They need more space, so we can
Yeah, it's
provide
not
that space,
interesting,
but
man.
also
It's
an
just
opportunity
this
to
event
collaborate
is
with
terrible.
our
I mean, this
scientists,
is
our
like one of the
engineers, our
worst
communication specialists to
events. Like
develop
I
training and
anticipated it. I didn't think it would be
opportunities for their
great,
faculty
but
and
I
their
just
staff.
didn't
And
think
so
it would be this
what we see
shitty.
ourselves,
But
David and I,
it is what it
are
is.
places that can
I do
incubate,
like this though with the QQQ going
retain,
on.
and
It's selling
develop
off
new
in a
ideas.
big
And
way.
Big
We
David's
just got
gonna
under
spend a little
support
time
around
talking about the
359.50.
program that
I
Vince
really
David
like this for momentum today, actually, to the downside. I'd be really tempted to play it down. I'm still trading SQQQ though, so I'm still trying to get that one to help me out a little bit more here. I need a big drop out of the SPY and the QQQ today.
In
So
1863, it took on a mission of being at Land Grant University.
oh my God, they're still going. SPY is under 426, which was huge here for the SPY. Once we got under there, we actually had a perfect confirmation off of that level too. That could have been a great entry point on that little retest. Man, that would have been like, oh my gosh, I wish I had seen it better, or like I wasn't paying attention to the meeting. Because that could have been a good scalp right there. I love that setup. It's one of my favorite setups whenever support breaks. It happens all the time. Support will break, and then the stock will go down just a little bit, and then it'll come up and test that support that you just broke, and then drop. This is a setup that's very, very common in the market right here. Now this drop that's here necessarily isn't always huge, but it's a great scalp type of play. If you notice a support break and you want a good entry point, a lot of times a good entry is that little pullback right back into that level at 426.
So for instance, in Erie, there's a focus on manufacturing, and so
That's kind of perfectly what you're seeing there. Perry said, Bears got the day, Tom. I hope so. I sure hope they do. We need that SQQQ to keep going for us. So the more QQQ goes down, the better for Tom. Can I zoom in on this? I could have sworn I was allowed to zoom in, right? No? I want to zoom in on Big Daddy.
Viable products and so on. This was before the Bloom Business Empowerment Center started, and it is a very similar mission, and we look forward to working with partners just like that. Oftentimes we find individuals
That's not even Big
who are
Daddy
at
now that I'm
stage
seeing
in
it.
their entrepreneurial development, and we'll send them to the different resources in the area. One example that I could give you of work that has been done was, incidentally, a Penn State York business student, an individual who wanted to create a bisexual dating app. There was Grindr.
That's funny. I almost thought that guy was Powell for a second. That's not good. Powell's going to get mad at me.
So she came up with the idea of binding.
They looked almost the damn same from this distance. Oh, come on. You can't tell me that they don't look the same.
Community, a couple faculty members who shared their expertise. We connected her with a local
oh, yeah, that's me.
IT individual.
No, where is Tom? Tom's somewhere on the right. He's somewhere over there. I think he works at Harley or something, or he's like an engineer there. Something like that. Palantir, come on.
Throughout Penn State, throughout the community, we're a portal to other resources throughout.
What about DraftKings today? How is DraftKings looking? Not too good. What about the 4-chart setup? Tesla is still holding up very well today. Can somebody tell me why Tesla is holding up so well?
Research expenditures and patents, and Penn State University was not performing very well.
I'm pretty lost on this one.
$1 billion annually.
Maybe the selling will start to come in later or tomorrow, but
95% of that is located in a rural county in the middle of Pennsylvania.
oh, it seems wild.
Far from Pittsburgh, far from Philadelphia. It's felt that we could be using the launch boxes as this connection to the greater university resources. The challenges we have is making that connection.
What's up with Neo, NIO? Let's see.
Something new.
Okay, it's coming down pretty hard. It looks just like a healthy pullback, but maybe those Tesla numbers played a role on Neo even. Very well could have.
I'd like to also mention that in addition
Jeff
to the
said
launch
because
boxes,
Tesla's
we do
numbers were
focus
already
on
priced in. I
developing
mean,
skills within our own students.
sure, but if they were already priced in, then why did it have a big drop, Jeff? I mean, there was definitely a big move for it being already priced in, but I don't know. I'm not going to get into the are things already priced in debate, because if that were the case, we'll never really have any big moves ever, you know. Everyone says everything's priced in every time, but, you know, sometimes you still get big. I would say that's a pretty damn big move, and then recovery. I think there's got to be more to it than that. Like maybe some projections long-term came out, or... Oh, look who's speaking.
It's really the word that comes to mind is mindful. How mindful all of this is. You know, the focus on developing people and developing opportunities for them. Jesse, you pointed out that it should be a great time to be an employee here. We have 1.5 job openings for every unemployed person. We have what appears to be a structural labor shortage and lots of opportunity. So our main part in all of this is what we all desire at the Fed is a sustained period of strong labor market conditions. When you have a sustained, the record is clear, a long period of sustained labor market conditions, lots of good things happen. You get real wage increases. You also get things like broadly over the country, people are looking to find more people and getting them into the labor market, including visiting prisons and starting to work with people a year before they get out. So, and actually it turns out that as an expansion gets longer and longer, more and more of the wage gains actually go to people at the lower end of the wage spectrum. So these are really beneficial things. To have that, though, the record is also clear that we need price stability. Price stability is just a critical piece of bedrock for the overall economy over the years. So, and that's why we're very focused on restoring price stability and then having it over a long period. But again, this is a great time, and many of the programs that we also hear wherever you go in the country, where there are entrepreneurship programs, and what you characterized as what was the program? You had a nice description of that would enable you to work. Employee readiness program. Yeah, those really do seem to work and pay off, and this is a message that obviously it seems you and York have gotten long ago, and so it's very encouraging.
Yeah, I would just add to that I think about the collaboration you have that you're describing. You wonder, it's very difficult for very large cities to do this. Small cities don't have scale. They seem to have kind of a sweet spot. Am I seeing that right?
Yes.
It's unusual. I mean, you're just about the right size, right? You're that one bed in the story. But it's just about the right size where you know each other. You can work together. Whereas in larger urban areas, it's a little tough. That's really striking.
The point Keith made earlier.
All right, back to the charts. Those guys were boring me again now. Yeah, it's a great time, right, Sean? That's funny. What I've got out of this is workers are too dumb, so we intellectuals need to step in. Yeah. Kind of. Sean, I feel like what I've gotten out of that is it sounded like that they were talking about a lot of the other opportunities out there besides college, right? It sounded like that they were talking about, like for example, with Harley, I kind of got out of it that Harley has programs for people who don't necessarily want to go to college or something. Like, you could go to Harley, they're saying, it sounded like, and you could tell them, like, hey, I want to become a job, and, I want to get in a job on the assembly line or something, or, I want to make some bikes or be a part of the bike making process, right? Or whatever. It sounds like they'll actually train you and, send you off to the training you need, and then kind of get you going from there. That's kind of what I got from a lot of these talks. It sounded like they were talking about programs that you could do that weren't college, but it might be like a little, like getting certified in something, or something like that. It sounded like that's kind of what I got from it. But I don't know. Nice dip in PEP earnings, 10-10. Pepsi? Yeah, all good, Jeff. You're good. You're good, man. Throw it out. I just, you'll see if you watch the streams a lot, Jeff, like no matter what happens, there's always somebody that says it's priced in, no matter what happens. It's like, or the stock then will die down and people will say it was supposed to be priced in, right? I don't know. That's the only reason I said that. It probably was priced in a little bit, right? I think the market just ended up not taking it so bad either. I think that once people saw it and, they look more towards the future, and they didn't really miss the analyst expectations by that much. It only missed by like 30,000. So it was still pretty close overall, but just a slight miss. Boeing is getting hit hard though. Like, god dang. They really got hit hard today under 190. Didn't I set an alert on Boeing? Did it not go off? What the hell? Bank of America. In Musk we trust. Yeah, you know, I love Musk, man. He's like he's probably my favorite guy in the markets as far as the markets go. Just as far as, you know, companies, I guess, stuff like that. I love Musk though. I think that for the longer term, Tesla will still do very, very well. I think it'll still be a lot higher than it is now, even in a few years. I know a lot of people say Tesla's way overvalued, and I do agree. It is overvalued, but we got to keep in mind that a lot of these stocks that are really, really good, like the good powerhouses, they'll trade over their valuations for a long time. And it could get pretty high over a lot. So I'm curious to see what they do and if they continue with the hype. I think that I've been saying this for like 2 years now, but once that Tesla truck comes out, I think that it's going to start to get really, really interesting out there for Tesla once that truck comes out. That truck has a ton of pre-orders. I'm on the list. I remember I showed it one time on the stream. I showed the list. I'm on the pre-orders for it. Will I end up getting it? Probably not. But, you know, that's how it is. I'll be right back, guys. Hello? Man, guys, I just got a really unfortunate phone call. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end the stream. Unfortunately, it sucks. My pregnant girlfriend apparently just got a blood clot, so this is not good for good old Tom here. If you could consider keeping us in your prayers or something. We'll have to see what ends up happening with this, but sounds like we're gonna have some fun today in the household. So appreciate you guys joining up today. I'm sorry this event sucked. I really do. I wish it was better. I'm really sorry. You know, obviously, you never know how these events are gonna go, right? I didn't think it would be that crazy, but yeah, Powell just didn't talk, too much about anything, which is which sucks. So, sometimes that's how these events are, right? It's just a roundtable discussion. Like, he might say something crazy, but at the end of the day, probably not too much. But hey, I appreciate the kind words, guys. Like I said, sorry for having to run right now too. I would normally stay on till the event gets over, but that is a pretty big thing that we found out, I guess, is the way to say it. But all right, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see ya. Have a good one. Stay profitable out there. Keep your heads high. I know it's been really choppy the past few days. It's probably been kind of hard to trade, but let's go. I think you guys can get it back here. Let's go, guys. Have a good one. I'll talk to you later.